What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus package update, daily news, everything going on here in our country, in Washington, D.C., the economy, money, investing, the stock market, everything you need to know about on a daily basis. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you find these videos helpful, don't forget to smash the like button for us down below. We're also going to be starting our What's in the Box contest. If you can guess what's in this box, you could win money directly from me and our family. We're going to be giving away a total of $2,000. If you can guess what's in this box. And that contest will be starting later today. So don't miss out on any videos from here on out. The way it works is that I will give you clues to what's in this box right here. And we did it last month as well. We gave away $1,000. This time we're going to give away $2,000 in total. Okay, I'll be giving you more details on that in the upcoming videos. Again, the contest is going to start later today. Okay, so don't miss any new videos at this point. And yeah, let's jump right in. We got a lot to cover here. There's a lot going on in our country. And with this next stimulus package, we actually have two potential stimulus packages that Congress is talking about now. That's right. Here we go. Both the state of California and New York are reinstating indoor mask mandates amid Omicron virus variant concerns. Two of the largest states in our country reinstating indoor mask mandates, along with Oregon also reinstated their permanent mask mandate as well. You can see here from the Washington Post, officials in both states said the new measures were meant to stem the spread of the virus, especially the new Omicron variant, amid fears of another deadly winter wave. They also acknowledge that the moves underscore an exhausting truth about the pandemic, that it is far from over. And this comes as on Thursday, New York State reported the highest number of daily positive cases ever. So this shows that we're nowhere close to this pandemic being over. New York recorded more than 21,000 people testing positive in one day, their highest count ever. 21,027 people tested positive on Thursday alone in New York State. Yeah, and this is really with the Omicron variant barely just getting started here in the U.S. And they say that the Omicron variant could actually infect up to 70 times faster. And really, that hasn't really even hit the U.S. that hard yet. So it's not even in all of our states, well, at least reported in all of our states yet. So that really has yet to come. So we're really still, the vast majority of our cases are Delta. So also the New York governor says that they plan to add booster shots to the definition of being fully vaccinated in the future. New York Governor Kathy Hochul, who's a Democrat, announced during a press conference on Thursday that she's planning to introduce legislation that includes a booster shot within the definition of being, quote, fully vaccinated. While the Democratic governor noted that the legislation needs to be more fleshed out and requires more data to be collected, she signaled the change would eventually happen, saying, quote, at some point, we have to determine that being fully vaccinated means fully boosted as well. Dr. Fauci also signaled that the Omicron variant could have serious implications on hospitals, which could see a strain on resources. And this is why House Democrats like Democratic Representative Jamal Bowman are now calling for another COVID stimulus relief package from the House of Representatives. This is what stimulus package 1, 2, and 3 with stimulus checks one, two, and three were. And this is what is now being called for because of this new virus variant and because of how bad virus cases are right now. Remember that stimulus check one, two, and three, stimulus package one, two, and three were because of the virus. They were because of the pandemic. And because of cases are so bad, we look at headlines like this: New York State reporting the highest number of daily cases ever. We look at headlines like this: California and New York State reinstating indoor mask mandates. And it kind of makes sense that they're now calling for another COVID relief package because the virus is, I mean, in some cases it's worse than ever. I mean, look at this. It's hit its highest number of daily cases in New York. So more than 21,000 cases in one day. So I mean, by this number, it was the worst ever in New York State. So when we look at, hey, we need more virus relief, we need more pandemic relief. I mean, it makes sense. The pandemic is far from over, and that is what new House Democrats are now calling for. Because I mean, honestly, the pandemic is just not going away anytime soon. It's not going to be this month, and it's not going to be next month. I think that's pretty safe to say at this point. Unfortunately, I mean, we all hoped it would go away by 2021, but we're all just gonna have to hope for the new year, 2022. Maybe Baby Yoda back there with his new little Santa costume at this point. Maybe he can use his Jedi magic and help us out here a little bit in 2022. By the way, I think there's a new Star Wars series coming out here at the end of December. I think it's the Boba Fett spin-offs on Disney Plus starting here at the end of December. So we'll have to check that out. If you watch Star Wars and you know Baby Yoda, who's been a big part of our show per se, not really on our show, but he's always had this spot right here where the Christmas tree is. But now he's kind of taking a back seat. I actually seen a comment. I don't remember who said it, but somebody said nobody puts Baby Yoda in the corner. Nobody puts Baby Yoda in the corner. I thought that was a pretty cool comment. Whoever made that comment. But yeah, Baby Yoda's in the corner for now. But he's chilling back there with his little Christmas outfit on. But yeah, unfortunately, 2021 is we're still dealing with this pandemic, and by a lot of accounts, with over 100,000 new cases per day, and we're still averaging over 1,000 deaths per day. It's still raging on, and virus relief, pandemic relief, is still very, very, very much needed. In fact, actually, Washington, D.C. actually just reported 2 consecutive days in a row of record breaking virus cases. So, 2 days in a row of the highest cases they've ever recorded, ever in Washington, D.C. as well. New York State, the entire state, and Washington, D.C. So, probably a lot of other areas. This is just what I happened to see going across our daily research. Yeah. I mean, we want to think that it's like getting better. I know a lot of people want to put it out of sight, out of mind. That doesn't make it get better. I mean, I want it to be over. You want it to be over. We all want it to be over. We want to go back to normal. Unfortunately, it's just not what's happening. We think about a lot of the things in the past, polio, things that were way before us, like the bubonic plague, the Spanish flu, and stuff. I mean, a lot of those things took years to eradicate, right? And this is obviously the same thing. I mean, we're now in year 2, going into year 3, 2020, 2021. Now we're going to be going into 2022. Yeah, yeah, and The other thing that they're coming out with now is these virus treatment pills from Merck and Pfizer. I think they're a really good thing because people are still catching the virus with the vaccines, and when you catch the virus, not really a lot of treatments out there when you catch it. The problem is that um, the Pfizer pill is not even approved yet, and what they're saying is that when it does get approved, there's going to be very little supply once it's approved. And when it is approved, you got to remember we have 100 to 200,000 people every day testing positive every day. So that means every 5 to 10 days, depending on how many people per day, that's 1 million people testing positive on a daily basis. Yeah, you can see this headline here actually from last night. Supply shortage of new antiviral drug threatens the fight against Omicron, but not just Omicron, the Delta variant as well. Omicron, they say it spreads faster, but the symptoms might be a little bit less severe, where Delta might spread not as fast, but the symptoms are more severe. I mean, either one you don't really want to catch, right? But at least now they're going to have these new antiviral pills. It would be nice to have those available for everybody, right? From Pfizer or Merck. I think the Pfizer one has a little bit better test results, but the question is are they going to be available? Yeah, it says here a new pill from Pfizer to treat the virus has been hailed as a game changer that can drastically cut down the number of hospitalizations and deaths from the disease. But demand for the treatment known as Paxlovid is expected to far outrun supply, blunting its ability to help fight what medical professionals say is an oncoming wave of infections from the Omicron variant because it spreads faster. Experts are calling on the Biden administration to take action to help increase manufacturing capability by enlisting additional companies to help Pfizer make the doses. Wow, that's interesting. Will Pfizer even allow other companies to do that? With their patents and trying to keep everything secret and stuff like that? It'll be interesting. Quote, I think we should be doing everything we can, says this doctor. I don't even want to try to pronounce that name. Try to say that name 10 times fast. From Duke Global Health Innovation Center says, quote, this requires a full court press. He noted that Merck is helping make the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, a model that could be applied to therapeutics like the Pfizer pill as well. But so far, I have not seen an aggressive push or an attempt to access existing manufacturing capability in the US or globally to date around the therapeutics. Pfizer says it only expects to have 180,000 courses of the treatment available by the end of 2021. I mean, that's only like a day or two's worth of people. With 30 million available globally in the first half of 2022, that's better. But remember, 50 million people have tested positive already just in the US, and 80 million by the end of next year. So and then you got to think about the whole world here as well. And it says here, but with the US about 120,000 new cases every day and rising just in the US, the demand for the antiviral product is spiking sharply. It's kind of a drop in the bucket in the short term, says David Boulware, an infectious disease expert at the University of Minnesota. Now, this Pfizer pill hasn't been approved yet, but it's expected to probably be approved here shortly. I believe, remember that the pill's not approved yet, but I believe that the Biden administration, the White House, the government is expected to pay for all the treatments, just like the vaccines are paid for. So they're pretty expensive. They're like several $100s per treatment. But again, I believe the government is going to pay for them. So it's not like you're going to have to go and shell out $500 for the treatment. At least that is what is expected. Okay, again, they're not approved yet. So I'll keep you posted on this, okay? So yeah, The good thing is that we are now having Congress Democrats from the House of Representatives pushing for a new stimulus package for emergency virus stimulus, pandemic relief, which is basically what stimulus package 1, 2, and 3 were. In addition to the BBB, the Build Back Better package. Okay, the Build Back Better package is kind of a much larger social infrastructure package. It has a lot of programs that are like, in my opinion, long needed programs. We talk about things like elder care, um, child care, reducing the cost of child care, reducing the cost of prescription drug pricing, the child tax credits, extending those in there. Um, a lot of different things in there, right? We talk about this all the time: rent assistance, mortgage assistance. The question is going to be here. Joe Manchin has said he's willing to spend $1.75 trillion dollars. And what is going to happen? The Senate parliamentarian is also finishing up work on that as well. Okay. Um, what is going to happen with that? Well, we're going to have to see here, because the big question here is Senator Joe Manchin going forward. I'll keep you up to date on that. But now we have this push for this other stimulus package as well, which could be smaller, because remember that stimulus checks for adults, because remember, the stimulus checks for children, or checks for children, whatever you want to call them, can just be covered with the child tax credits. Okay. Stimulus checks for adults can be done in as little as 100, 200, 300 billion dollars. Okay. You don't necessarily need $1.75 trillion dollars. You can cover stimulus checks for adults with $200 billion dollars. Okay. They can throw rent assistance in there. They could throw a couple other things in there. They can do an emergency stimulus package with just that. Also, there's reports that have come out that said that there is up to $500 billion still left over of stimulus money from previous stimulus packages. Okay. They could just dip into that for stimulus money. Okay. And when you see all these headlines of, oh my gosh, the virus is getting worse than ever. We have New York, we have Washington, D.C. reporting the highest amount of cases that we've ever had. We're like, oh wow, that actually is true. We have New York and California re implementing statewide indoor mask mandates. So it's like, wow, we're not actually getting better, we're actually getting worse. I don't want to report this. It's just kind of what's happening, right? It's just like we want to get better. We want to be done with this. Unfortunately, we're going to have to hunker down and, get through this together, right? We're a big family here. We'll get through this together, right? Got to think positive, and we'll get through this, right? I mean, we got through this far, right? So we'll get through it. But that's why Congress is calling now, or Democrats at least, or some Democrats are calling for a virus relief package now, a stimulus package. So it's good to see that. There's also several other things here that they're calling for. Is that one, the child tax credits just ended on December 15th, and the student loan payment pause ends next month at the end of January. So we have several different things coming up here that are ending or just ended. Child tax credits just ended. The last monthly payment for 60 some million children just ended on January or December 15th. For 60 some million people, the student loan payment pause ends next month at the end of January for 40 some million people. Between the two things there, 100 and some million people are affected. Okay. So those are two things that are ending or just ended as well. So we have several different things here that are very, very related to people's pocketbooks. So we're going to be having a lot of different things here that are kind of up for debates that have time limits or time crunches on them, because they have dates on them, right? So, in fact, the White House is now talking about potentially doing a double payment for the child tax credits in February if they can come to some type of agreement for the child tax credits if they can get it passed, get some type of standalone bill. The White House has said that a standalone bill might be hard to do for the child tax credits because they would need 10 Republican votes. Now, what's interesting about that is that Republicans have typically been okay with the child tax credits. In fact, Mitt Romney and other senators from the Republican side have been okay with voting yes on child tax credits. But the problem with that right now is that what I would call the Republican blockade, if you've watched my show before, you've heard me mention that. A lot of Republicans just don't want to vote for things underneath a Democratic majority right now because they feel that it makes the Democrats look good. Okay. If it was a mixed Congress, if it was like Republicans controlling, say, the Senate, like last year, and Democrats controlling the House, then it's kind of a different story because it's like, oh, it doesn't just make the Democrats look good per se, right? And I'm getting a little bit kind of into what some opinions, what some of the Republicans think here, right? But the problem is that the White House doesn't think that they'll be able to get a standalone bill passed for an extension of the child tax credits because they don't think they can get 10 votes from Republicans. And a lot of people are saying, well, that's sad because 60 some million children depend on these monthly payments, and 47% of that money goes to food. So a standalone bill, the White House says they don't think they can get it done for the child tax credit. So we'll have to see here. But honestly, I think it probably could get done because there has been a lot of support from that in the past. And if you remember, if we go back just to December a year ago, we actually got a standalone bill done between Republicans and Democrats for stimulus checks with Mitch McConnell. Okay, underneath the second stimulus check package. So, and the first stimulus check package, actually. So, Democrats and Republicans have gotten deals done between both parties for stimulus checks and stimulus packages by partisan agreement. Okay, and Republicans have been willing in the past able to vote for or were remember that Republicans actually raised the child tax credits as well. So Republicans have voted for in the past child tax credits, stimulus checks, stimulus packages. So I would be interested to see what would happen going forward. Of course, Democrats, it's a different, everybody has their own opinions on this, but we'll have to see what happens going forward here with this. I'll keep you up to date here. Make sure to subscribe down below. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss any new videos. The What's in the Box contest is going to start later here today. So you can also click share down below to share this video with your friends and family. You can click this video here to watch my newest video next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.